To the flipping and wholesaling houses in New York show where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses. And if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. I had an interesting question, and it's a topic that comes up a lot. And I don't think I've ever really dealt with it. So it's a great question. So I got a question from James. What is your marketing schedule? He said, let's say you mail a list 6 times. After that, what are you going to do with the list? Do you approach while you mail, like SMS, cold call, the same listing? So I'm going to explain what I do, and then I'm going to explain why I think the whole sequencing, and a lot of people call me all the time. Well, when do you send a text? How long do you mail for? That whole thing. And why I think a lot of it doesn't matter. So first of all, what I do, I pay a lot of money for my data. I use a company in Seattle. They say it's predictive data. They don't even tell me what the hell it is. And I get 25,000 targets a quarter, and there's a lot of overlap from quarter to quarter. A lot of overlap because in New York, things don't sell quickly. So somebody that showed up on a list or somebody that may have had a pain point 3 months ago probably still has the same pain point because they haven't sold it. In other parts of the country where things sell faster, there isn't as much overlap, but there's still overlap. Now, what I do with that data is I mail it. So I mail, I for a long time I was mailing 25,000 postcards. I mean, minus a few thousand already that are undeliverable that I know already, or people that are already on my list. But let's say over 20,000 postcards a month. I mailed the entire list. I called the entire list, so I cold called the entire list. I texted the entire list, and I RVM, the ringless voicemail, any of the phone numbers that I can get. So the mailing, the data set that I get has addresses, names, and mailing addresses if it's not an owner occupied property. So I can mail the whole thing. When I skip trace it, which is to get phone numbers, I don't get all of them, but I get a lot, and therefore those are the ones that I can call, text, and RVM. Right now, what a lot of people are looking for is this magic sequence. Well, if I mail them, then how long do I wait till I call them? How often do I call them? What I believe firmly, and a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm about to say, is all of that is bullshit. Now, why is it bullshit? The idea that your mail is going to get to the place that you want it to when you think it will, and that somehow there's going to be some sequence of calling, texting, or RVMing that lead so that they are going to be more excited to call you back, to me seems ridiculous. Let's be honest. If I call a list of 20,000 numbers, how many are really going to answer the phone? A very small percentage. And it's complete luck, right? I could call the same list as you. We can call during the same periods of time and get different people. Even if one's calling in the morning, one's calling afternoon, even if we're calling at the same time. Certainly if we're calling at different dates. There's a luck factor in reaching them. Texting, sometimes people are in a good mood, sometimes people are in a bad mood. RVM, sometimes they're going to answer, sometimes they're not. So I believe in hitting everyone in all those 4 ways because I don't know which is the preferred method of communication for that prospect, right? A person may be someone who looks at his mail every single day. There may be someone who throws his mail in the garbage every single day and throws out every postcard. That prospect could be someone who only responds to cold calling, but has a dumb phone and won't take a text. That person may be someone who only listens to a voicemail. And there's no way to know. So I believe in mailing anybody you're going to mail 6 or 7 times. Which reminds me, I got to send mail out again. Send mail out. Whatever list you have, you should mail it at least 6 or 7 times. Now, why? People ask me why. Why? Right? It seems counterintuitive. Right? If I have a list of people that should want to sell, they get a postcard from me, they want to sell, they're going to call me. That's not the way it works. Like every method of marketing and communication, you have to hit that prospect on a day where they want to sell. They may not want to sell today and may want to sell for a half hour tomorrow. Now, why is that? Because circumstances change, right? So you want to hit that prospect right after they get a call from the roofer that says, hey, that's not going to be a repair. It's going to be a ripoff and it's going to cost you $13,000 to do the roof. And they're thinking, I can't afford it. You want that prospect to get the call when the tenant said, hey, you know what? My attorney told me I don't have to pay taxes. I don't have to pay rent anymore because there's a moratorium on evictions. So sue me. You want to hit that prospect the minute after they get called that, hey, you have a job in South Carolina, you better be here in 2 weeks. These are life circumstances that happen. And when you mail 6 or 7 times, a few things happen. First of all, you increase your probability of hitting that prospect when they want to sell by 6 or 7 times. That's a big factor. Second of all, you are convincing that, not convincing, you are implying, and hopefully the prospect infers, that you are serious, that you're not a fly-by-night company. You mailed him 6 or 7 months in a row. That means, hey, this isn't like the other guys who only mailed me once. Now, I hear, and I have done, unfortunately, all the time, people who say, hey, I mailed a list once, it didn't work, I didn't get any response, or my response rate was low. So a couple of things. I don't track response rate. I just spoke to another guy in my area, and he's like, my response rate is really low. I don't care about response rate, right? If I send out a mailing for $10,000 and I get one response, and that turns into a $30,000 deal, then I just made a 3-to-1 return on my investment. I don't care. If you send out $10,000 response and you get 100 people that respond and no deals, who's better off? So I believe in its return on investment. The problem is it's only something that can be measured over a very long period of time. Certainly if you're mailing 6 or 7 times, it's something that has to be measured over like 9 to 12 to 18 months, right? Because during that time, you're going to get leads. The question is, are they going to turn into deals? So I'm not concerned with the response rate at all. I think a lot of people spend time on response rate. If somebody could tell me how to deposit responses into my bank account, I'm happy to talk about response rate. Until then, I'm going to look at return on investment. Now, I do look at other things. I look at qualified leads, appointments, whether that's virtual or live, offers made, and deals. But the most important one is deals, right? Listen, in theory, I wish I can get one lead, go on one appointment, make one offer, and get a deal, right? That would be the best, right? To me, that's better than going on 20 appointments with 40 leads and making 20 offers and getting one deal. It's a lot less work. But over time, what you realize is there are certain numbers of leads you need to get an appointment, how many appointments you need to get then you should make an offer on every appointment, and how many appointments you need to go on to get a deal. So you look at those numbers in hindsight and say, hey, I know I need 22 leads to get a deal. That helps you over time. But as you switch marketing methods, so recently I really went more into pay-per-click. And I think I need less leads pay-per-click, and theoretically you should need less leads pay-per-click to get a deal, right? I think I'm closing my first pay-per-click lead 3 months in, which is pretty good soon. Now, so it's good to know those numbers. But in theory, of course, I wish I had less leads, less appointments, less offers for the same amount of deals, right? That's less work. Less work is always good. So it's important to track those things. So you should track them. But response rate is just something that I think is completely irrelevant, right? If I send out a $10,000 mailing, I get 2 responses, I'm not going to be upset if both of those look like they're promising deals, promising leads that could turn into deals. I'll be thrilled. Much happier than if I got 100 leads with, and even what you call leads. Some people call lead a guy who calls them and says, take me off your list. I don't consider that a lead. They go, oh, that's a gross lead. Then I track net leads. I don't care. I literally, those are dead leads to me, irrelevant. So I don't believe in marketing sequences. I don't, right? You have to determine how much money you're willing to spend. So let's just go through the basic marketing channels. The most expensive marketing channels are direct mail, pay-per-click. I'd say after that, it's probably SEO, search engine optimization, because search engine optimization is expensive. You have to spend, thousands of dollars a month for backlinks and for all the crap that Google needs to get you up high. So it's important to me it's important for you to understand, not to me, to you, what the marketing channels are. So the less expensive marketing channels are cold calling, right? Whether you're doing it yourself, it costs almost nothing. Probably $100 a month for a predictive dialer like Mojo, Call Tools, Ready Mode. But that's still cheap. Texting, so you're better off using a program like Roar or I use Launch Control, a few $100 a month, $500 a month, $300, depending on what plan you get. And RVMs, which are really cheap depending on who you use. Roar, there's a lot of people who use them. So those are cheaper, right? But the idea that you're going to be able to pick when the prospect gets your text, call, RVM, piece of mail is absurd to me. It's literally absurd, right? You have no idea when they're going to get it. The mail stinks, right? You may send something today, may not get there for a week. I get return mail sometimes 4 months later. So you don't know when they're going to get it. The idea is to hit the prospect as many times as possible so that hopefully in his preferred method of communication, I reach him and he reaches back out to me. That's it. My highest return on investment is probably RVM, but I don't get a lot of leads from it, and I have it running all the time, well, during business hours. So I don't believe in lead sequence in marketing market sequencing. I don't think it makes a difference. I think you have to do the marketing, you have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, you have to track your numbers, and then think good things happen. That's pretty much it. I wish I could be more helpful, but that's what I believe. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my computer up here. Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help the algorithm and more people get to see my videos. Thank you. And what else? Oh, please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. Your comments really help me. Today's comments came from James L., so thank you. Your comment can be about anything. Does not have to be about the video you're watching at all. It can be about anything. I try to get back to comments within 2 days, and sometimes even sooner. This comment came in like 16 hours ago. And if it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I covered recently, somebody asked me about something I covered very recently. I sent them a quick video on it. What was it? I forgot. And if it's something new, I'll do a new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it.